So Will kind of kick-started this for us last segment. Let's talk about number one seed in the NFC. The bet is, if you're going to make a bet in this market, I think the only bet is the Niners at plus 165. Now, on the other hand, if you believe the Eagles are going to beat the Cowboys this week, that's the bet, right? So that's really what this comes down to for me. The Cowboys, just to let you know, the Cowboys and the Lions are on this board as well. Cowboys are 13-1, Lions are 11-1 to get the number one seed in the NFC. But the Cowboys, they've got Philly at Buffalo, at Miami, Detroit, and at Washington. So you can forget about them getting the number one seed. That would be a Herculean task. Their opponent's remaining win percentage is .623. The Lions, it's hard, not quite as hard, but they do have, a couple with Minnesota, which you have to assume split, and at Dallas as well. And they've got, a game to make up as is.
Real quick, Gill, do you think that do you think the game against the Eagles is baked into that Cowboys number a bit? Because it feels like it should be longer.
It should absolutely be
because
longer.
Because of the gauntlet of the schedule remaining. But because they're favored over the Eagles this weekend, I'm wondering how much that's affecting it.
The issue also with these is that the Eagles, if you go to, I'm looking at conference records as well with these teams. You have to know head-to-heads.
Yeah, that's true.
But the point is with the Niners are going to be favored in every game, including that home game against Baltimore. They're plus 165. They just need to be tied with the Eagles. They're one game back. So you need the Eagles, who do, as Will pointed out, finish with the Giants, Arizona, and then at the Giants. So they got 3 games they should probably win at the end. Probably. You know how this is the NFL. At Dallas, at Seattle before that. So they've got to drop one of those. If you think they're beating Dallas, maybe the bet's the Eagles minus 135. I think they're losing, so I'm betting. If I were betting this, I would bet the Niners at plus 165. Full disclosure, I do not have a bet on this. This is available at DraftKings, but that's what I would bet. The AFC, you would agree with that? Yeah,
I'm right there with you. I mean, look, this is I don't think I'm even at this point anymore, and I know you're not. But if you are somehow one of the people out there that loves the Detroit Lions, like that is a big number on an easy schedule remaining. I'm not going to say that's not true. I can't trust this Lions team right now.
I don't trust them this week against the Bears.
Yeah, either.
The defense is just not. Here's why I don't trust the Lions. Don't trust. As I said, I'm assuming a split with Minnesota, and they're going to lose at Dallas. Dallas has, my Dallas Cowboy fan friend, Dave Check, who was the showrunner for Action, Showtime docuseries, another great. By the way, his latest documentary that's coming out is on Dave Winfield. So good.
Okay.
Such an untapped, great story in the history of sports in this country. Dallas hasn't lost a game on turf since November of 2021.
It's crazy. It's wild. I heard that the other day. It's wild. Remember when they first opened that stadium and they couldn't win at home forever? And now they've go back the past few years. They've been dominant at home.
Yeah.
Just real quick to wrap this one up. I already bet the Cowboys this week. So kind of like Will said, I think that it basically directly correlates to a 49ers or a Cowboys bet here. If you really like the Cowboys, I just don't trust them with that schedule.
There's no Cowboys bet.
So it'd be a Niners bet.
Niners are the play to me. Okay, AFC, a little more crowded. Well, not really a little more crowded because it is crowded in the sense that there's more teams that are 2 games back, right? So teams like the Texans and the Browns and the Colts and those kind of teams lurk. But honestly, this comes down to 4 teams too, which is the 9-3 Dolphins, the 9-3 Ravens, the 8-4 Chiefs, and the 8-4 Jaguars. But not all numbers are created equal. The Dolphins are plus 170. The Ravens plus 230 to become the number 1 seed. The Chiefs and the Jaguars, who are both 1 game back in the standings, 3-1 and plus 750 respectively. Now, why the discrepancy? Why the difference in those numbers? To me, Kelley Bydlon, the bet here is as follows. Because the Ravens have the hardest remaining schedule, not only among this group, but in the entire NFL, their opponent's aggregate winning percentage is .650. By the way, they have also a 6-3 conference record. Head-to-heads apply here first. Conference record would be second if there's more than one team, and head-to-head can't establish the winner. The bet is, drumroll please, the Kansas City Chiefs at 3-1. I know I have said this many times. They're not as good as they were last year. Obviously, they've just come off a loss at Green Bay. They didn't look good at all. The offense is much shakier for lots of reasons than it has been. Patrick Mahomes isn't shakier, but the offense as a whole. But here's the dealio. They've beaten the Dolphins head-to-head, and they have, amongst this group of teams, the easiest remaining schedule. Their opponent's aggregate win percentage is just .400. They play home Buffalo, at New England, home Raiders, home Bengals, at Chargers. Here's the other real factor. Conference record. Dolphins have 2 losses. They're 6-2 in the conference. Baltimore and Jacksonville are 6-3. The Chiefs are 6-1 in the conference. They've lost, their games to NFC opponents by and large, 3 of their 4. So, especially if you think they're going to be Buffalo. But even if you think they lose to Buffalo, maybe you wait
yeah.
And then you bet them afterwards. But this is kind of the best bet on the board, and I can't believe I'm saying this. It's the Chiefs who would be hosting their 6th consecutive AFC Championship game, or at least be in position to do so with the home division game.
It's incredible how that streak that they have going, hosting that. Perfectly said by you. I think this Jags number is a bit of a hedge by the books, not knowing what's going on with Trevor Lawrence. Because we knew he was going to miss significant time. That number, I think, would be longer. I like the Bills a little bit this week, so I'm going to hold back. But I agree. I think if you like the Chiefs this week, bet it now. Otherwise, you can hold off bet next week.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.